Normally, President Simon joins us right off the get-go, but very busy lady. Very busy lady. So she is joining us right now along another visit from our fine president, Mr. Michael Fezzey. President Simon, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, and I wanted to come towards the end of the program just to thank you and the WJR team for all that they've done for us this season and for our fans, and it's really been a special season.
It really has, and there is still work to be done, as we were discussing off the air. But when you take a look at the 4 years that Mark D'Antonio's been here, 31 wins already. Again, not putting the cart before the horse, but you talk about a program going in the right direction.
I think we are. I mean, last year we struggled a bit. Mark righted the ship, but he did it in such a way that he didn't play kids who had redshirted, even though they might have filled in a short-term gap, because he is committed to building a program, not just a winning season. And I think we have the right coach for Michigan State for a long time.
You know, it's remarkable. When we started this relationship, could you imagine that we were sitting here today with the prospects in front of us? And I have to tell you something. This has been the greatest partnership in the 30 years of being at the radio station, and I want to thank President Simon for driving that. It really started in her office, and it's been just an amazing, amazing experience.
I think it's hard for people to understand that our partnership really extends beyond this program on a Saturday. It really is being there for one another and having the same values to try to move the prosperity needle, not simply in the Detroit area but across the state, and using the power of WJR to do that.
And we cannot underestimate how effective this program has been.
I think those late night calls from coach to me and saying, what do we do? And you know, I didn't realize they had so much football knowledge.
And I believe we can just come out and say WJR is the reason Tom Izzo stayed.
Well, I think it was
no question.
I think it was a big part, because I say that sincerely, because what we talking with Tom about relationships. There are so many relationships that are important to you that are in the term priceless.
Right.
You can put a transaction cost on things, but you have to have things around people who can always be mobile, whether they're great faculty or great coaches, that are generally priceless. And this relationship, the way in which this has evolved, is part of that priceless set of relationships that helps people to decide to stay at Michigan State.
I think it's exceeded the expectations, and the expectations were pretty high.
Well, and another priceless relationship, quite frankly, is the relationship between this university and the great state of Michigan, which, Madam President, we have documented throughout the last year plus, has gone through some terribly difficult times. There appears to be, anyway, a light at the end of the tunnel, and this university has had a lot to do with the success. I mean, the amount of kids that go through this great school for 4 years, and they're in a position to contribute, I think, to a turnaround, and we've documented some of the great stories. It's phenomenal.
It is, and I think also about this priceless relationship. I was in Flint last week, and we were talking about the ways in which Michigan State is connected to another community that really is suffering in the state of Michigan, and has people who want to turn it around. And there was a stack of paper sitting on the front of the desk of all the projects we're doing, big and small, that will make a big difference in that community, because, again, the partnership and the relationship. It's not that Michigan State is the brand sitting out there with a big sign on the building. It's just what you do every day to work with people to make their lives better. And that always is recognized in the same way that WJR does that, in the way they want to think about the programming they do, as well as the people that they have associated with the radio station. And that's why I think the value fit was so good for us. And Steve, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. You really are terrific. You are a terrific guy. You're a terrific guy. I don't know how about your golf game, but I know you're a really terrific guy.
You know, another comment at the expense of my golf game. You're talking to Mike Fezzey too much. Now, darn it, now it's getting personal. One of the great things, you know, having done this show in my 4th season, is how community-driven the university is. Whether it's recycling, whether it's you know, raising canned goods, as Becky D'Antonio was talking about here. The fact of the matter is you care, and that is prevalent, and that is something that cannot be fixed.
I think it's true. I mean, if you look at the words that have been used to describe Michigan State in our branding activity and all of the research we've done, One of them is gender. We may not always be right or do the right thing, but we try to do the right thing and do it in a way that makes a difference with people, whether it's through our research or the work of our students or faculty. We're a big organization, people make mistakes, but we try to move beyond that because the goal and the purpose of Michigan State was to make a difference in people's lives and be that cutting-edge knowledge.
But the neat thing is, when you go through this university, and we have talked to former athletes, we have talked to the former students, what an impact the 4 years here at Michigan State has, and that is something that you take with you forever.
It is, and people talk about access to education, and when you look at the history of Michigan State, starting back in the 1880s where the slogan was good enough for the proudest, open to the poorest, it was access to a successful life through world-class education. It wasn't just access to education. And that definition has changed as the world's become more competitive, but our commitment is still access to a successful life. And it's through education of our students, through the research we do, and the connections to the community here in Michigan and around the world. And it's a really simple sort of approach to life about how we need to organize our work. And it doesn't always have to be on the billboard or in some sort of dramatic place that has a sign on it. But we have those as well. It's about that sense of commitment and feeling. And John Hanna called it citizen scholars. The people who left here could really do those kind of work. And you guys are the citizen scholars of radio stations. So we appreciate it very much.
That's nice to say.
Very nice to say, Madam President. Thank you very much for another wonderful season. Thank you very much for a wonderful relationship. Very proud to be a part of this.
We're proud to have you as well. And we're going to get one more victory here today and go on and have a great week next week in Pennsylvania.
Thanks for another great year, partner.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Here, here. President Luann Simon, President Michael Fezzey with us here on the Tailgate Show.